American versus American, Democrat versus Republican, the divide building since the late 1950s to the early 1960s, with issues spanning from abortion, gun control, death penalty, and even who should be the President of the United States, Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Even news outlets, going from the Washington Post, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and the New York Times, and so many others. The divide is deepening every single day. People listen to the news they want to listen to, which will strengthen their ideas and crucify those they don't believe. But the real question is, how do you find yourself trapped in one of these bubbles of political polarization? Well, from 1994 to 2014, the percentage of Americans that have either consistently been liberal or consistently been conservative in their lifetimes has more than doubled, from 10% to 21%. And with this increase of being consistently conservative or consistently liberal, this only increases political polarization. In an article written by George Martin and Stephen Weber for The Atlantic, they found that the U.S. is more geographically polarized today than it was at any point in history since the 1860s. This means that the U.S. is more politically polarized today in 2020 than it was at the beginning of the American Civil War. They found that, speaking geographically, Democrats tend to live in denser, more urban areas, while Republicans are the complete opposite, living in less dense rural areas. With more and more people moving to areas that support their own political views, the geographical divide is only increasing. In a USA Today article written by Rachel Kleinfeld and Aaron Sobel, the two present a 7-step solution to stopping political polarization. Calling out your own party, avoiding using languages or unnecessarily hurtful jokes, being positive on social media, stripping apart emotional attachment to issues and just talking about them unbiasedly, emphasizing with the other party and helping those who aren't able to. And finally, avoid spreading wrong information. We need to stop seeing the other side as the enemy. We need to see each other as we truly are, human beings and Americans who only want the best for the country. While there is validity in the problem and solutions that are presented, there are flaws, no doubt. Take Martin's argument, for example. It's the idea that people will move to areas simply because of the political views of that area. But there are other determining factors, such as affordability, job prospects, whether family or friends live there, and so many more. While political views of the area are something to look at, it is not a determining factor 100%. Along with the solution that's presented, while it's absolutely rational, people first need to be open to talking to the other side and talking about their views in general, which a lot of people are not in today's age. And many are unable to see that they are stuck in these political bubbles, as so many are. But if they don't believe that they're in them, they won't take the steps to get out of them. So many people are ingrained with that idea that they're right and others are just wrong. And some people might just be too far gone, not even considering the possibility that there is some validity in what others have to say. And this is something that we have to look at, because if people aren't willing to listen to other ideas, then nothing will change. No one will talk, no one will compromise, and this will leave the United States in a political and economic standstill. But really, why should anyone care? If people don't put their differences aside to try to get things done for the betterment of the country, then Americans will become too divided to do anything. It'll start with a small government shutdown, where opposition from the other side won't let anything go through Congress. then there will be fighting, verbally and physically, about issues that are not being resolved in the government. This will lead to civil unrest, and sooner or later the country will be too divided to go on, deciding that it would be better if there were two countries rather than one. This will create a civil war, which will be detrimental to the future of America, no matter who would win. So we have to act now, or we'll fail. It's time to think, do we want to sink or swim? With the growth of political polarization bubbles, this could be the beginning of the end. If people are no longer willing to listen and entertain the ideas of others, no progress is going to be made, causing Americans to suffer and sooner or later want to break off from one another with a civil war. If this happens, it'll destroy the America that we all know and love, creating something that we might not even recognize. People need to be able to see the importance of tolerance and empathy for one another and their ideas, because if we refuse to do this, then it might be the end of America as we know it, and the beginning of a very foreign and very scary future. So now it's time for you to decide. What kind of America do you see in your future? And what will you do to make sure that that vision becomes a reality?